I always get so many questions about the glitters that I use on my eyes, so I thought today I would formally introduce them. These are the single eyeshadows from the CBD brand Juicy, one of my favorite CBD brands. I have my favorites here, but pretty much every one of their singles is amazing, whether it's a shimmer or a matte. But I think these ones really stand out in their collection, so let me swatch them for you. First up is MT115. This is the one I have on my eyes and probably my most used shimmer in my entire collection. These are insanely pigmented and you can wear them at full opacity, but they also sheer out very, very nicely. Like, they just look wet and sparkly all over your lid. I mean, I don't think I have to say anything. Like, this is so crazy. Next up is D127. This is exactly like the silver shade, but like a more pink version. It's also insanely pigmented. Like, this shade is super, super intense, even more intense than the silver one. But it also shears out very, very nicely to get that like scattered sparkle effect. Absolutely love this shade too. I highly recommend this one. My last favorite is D112. This one's a little bit more subtle than the other two. But I think it just has a really beautiful wet sheen effect. Very pretty as well. One of my absolute favorites. If you're in the market for a new shimmer eyeshadow that's not a glitter, I highly recommend these. And plus they're really, really affordable. I think they're under like $10. Cannot recommend enough.
Another cool tone lip liner? Or is she a fraud?
I hate when that happens, which is why I've pretty much sworn off of Western lip liners and switched to almost exclusively Korean ones. When they say they are cool toned, they are not lying. Literally, some of these could pass as a gray lip liner. That's how cool toned and ashy they are. So for anyone who struggles with the same problem, I wanted to show my 6 favorite Korean lip liners. First up is my Holy Grail lip liner. This is from Roman, so it's super accessible. In the shade 05 Taupe, the most perfect ashy brown pale nude shade. Next up from Unleashia, this is 07 Burnt Toast. This is a very pale lip liner. This shade is perfect for doing gradient lips that are really popular in Korea, obviously. Next up, I have 4 shades from Heart%. These lip liners went super viral in Korea last year. I'll start with the pink shades. This is 14 Calm Pink. I know this looks a little bit ridiculous by itself, but trust me, with a darker lip tint in the center of your lips, it looks amazing. Something like this. Next up is 08 Cloudy Mauve, the perfect dusty gray mauve shade. This with just like a gloss on top is so good. Back to brown shades. This is 03 Oat Beige. This one's very similar to the Roman one, but I would say it's just a tiny bit more gray. Lastly, this is 17 Taupe Beige. It's basically just a lighter version of 03 Oat Beige. Literally cannot recommend Korean lip liners enough. Plus, they're usually really affordable. My least favorite beauty standard in Japan is the expectation to be hairless. Unfortunately, I'm Italian and my hair grows back fast and dark, but this is what it looks like now after a week of using the new Airlike 10. This is Ulike's newest device, and I've seen these floating around, and I've always been curious to try these because they're actually a lot sleeker than the ones that I see here. I use this 3 times now on my underarms and my legs, and I might be crazy, but I feel like this is like way less dark than it was before. My husband has been going for laser hair removal, and the way that he described it was so complicated and painful. But honestly, this has been such a breeze because you're supposed to see the maximum results after like 4 to 5 weeks of using this on high, and then after that you can kind of slow down. Now these are a little bit pricey, but I will leave my coupon code down below if you want to save a big chunk of change. Let me know if you want to see an update after 5 weeks. If you didn't know, Flower Nose actually has some concealers. There are 4 shades, and these were just released in their summer collection for mainland China. Everywhere else got liquid highlighters instead. There are 2 brightening shades and then 2 classic concealer shades. I picked up all of them except for the bottom peachy one, so let's try them together. This is 01 White, and even though it's called white, it does have a little bit of a peachy tone in it. 02 Pink, and this is VA3. I have everything on my face except for concealer, so on this side I'm going to try the white shade, pink on the other, and let's see how brightening these are. Wow, that is so pretty. I'm going to try the pink side to see if it looks any different. Definitely a little bit less intense, but still super pretty. Now I'm trying the regular concealer shade. I love the applicator shape so much. These blend in like butter. This is what it looks like with no filter. Very glossy and blurring. Here's with the filter back on. I have to say, these are my first CBD concealers I've ever tried, so I don't really have anything to compare them to. I feel like Flower Nose never disappoints, and I feel like I'm really going to enjoy these. Clogged pores are my biggest battle when it comes to my skin, so let's try some pore intensive products together. Starting first with Cox's cleansing oil. I actually got a sample of this many years ago and I loved it, so it's nice to come back to it in like a full circle way. Very affordable, great for dry skin, and so effective at removing gunk from your pores. Even oil cleansers can make my skin really tight after rinsing, but this one never has, probably because it's full of hyaluronic acid. Now this is a new product to me. This is the Black Rice Mask, and usually I don't really like pore purifying masks because they really suck every last drop of moisture out of my face and leave my skin super tight and irritated, but this one is actually very moisturizing. It says 2 minutes is enough, but I left mine on for 5 minutes and my skin is still super calm and supple. Here's what my skin looks like with nothing, and here's what it looks like with all my normal skincare. Glowing, clear, and pores wear. This is what my hair looks like after leaving my house for only 2 hours in Japan. Flat, frizzy, honestly just terrible. I know it sounds really silly, but my hair being kept at night like this is one of my biggest insecurities here because I just feel like the hair game is top tier. But I wanted to show what I've been doing lately when I'm on the go, a little hack I guess. But first, a little dry shampoo to keep my bangs from sticking to my forehead. This is like a portable heated brush and I just feel like it's super convenient. Now normally I'd be doing this in like a public restroom or something, but for obvious reasons filming in there is not allowed. But yeah, I just run it through my hair, style it a little bit, you know, just enough to be presentable again. And done. Quick and easy, hair back to being presentable so I don't look like a slob compared to everybody else here. Alright, you guys asked for it. This is Fenty's black gloss they just came out with. If you know me, you know that I love sheer black lip products, so let's try it. Here's what it looks like. I'm just gonna try it by itself first. Alright, here is one layer. Super pretty. It's a very nice everyday shade, but I really want to see if I can build it up to get a black effect. This is about 3 layers and I just have to say it is so gorgeous. I have a lot of black lip glosses and balms in my collection, but I don't feel like I have anything this color. If you're looking for something to wear every day just to add a little bit of coolness to your lips that's not necessarily so alternative, then I feel like this is a really good buy. Highly recommend. My husband never gives me flowers. I have never gotten a flower from my husband, but what he does give me is extremely thoughtful gifts. I love Japanese beauty history, and inside here is an antique makeup box, so I want to show it to you guys. This is what it looks like. So cute. He said the seller didn't know the exact date that this is from, but probably from like early to mid Showa era. If I take these bottles off, you can actually bring the mirror forward and close it like this. These kind of boxes have been extremely popular for a long time, except for like recently, obviously. These are actually real cosmetics that you can still buy that are from the Taisho period in bottles that are really reminiscent of the era. So I thought they were absolutely perfect to decorate with. And this is a replica of Japan's first ever manufactured perfume from like 1917. So I feel like it just really brings it all together. These 2 items you could also purchase in the Taisho era and still now today. I love how much storage is in here. This is like all my favorite jewelry right now. I haven't really filled it or anything, but in the bottom drawer I have all of the new makeup that I want to show. Because this is actually the area that I film. My tripod thing and my light, I like to film in front of my window. I used to have like a really dinky mirror like on a cardboard box, and he was like, you know what, like let's just upgrade it. I know that you love vintage cosmetic boxes, and like look what he found for me. It's so sweet. I love it so much. Today I want to talk about the historical fashion in Kimetsu no Yaiba. Japanese beauty and fashion history is my special interest, so let's look at how the characters dress, because for the most part it's actually very period accurate. Now for some historical context, Kimetsu no Yaiba takes place in the Taisho era. It followed the Meiji era, which saw a major influx of Western fashion and culture. It really marked the beginning of the shift away from traditional Japanese clothing, at least for men. Women for the most part still wore very traditional Japanese clothing, but there were some exceptions like schoolgirls. Kano was a character that I think takes a lot of inspiration from Taisho era schoolgirl uniforms. There's also moga, or modern girls, basically Japan's version of a flapper. They broke the gender norms by wearing almost exclusively Western fashion and having very modern ideals. You can actually see some cameoed here when Tanjiro was walking around Asakusa. Muzan's wife also wears Western clothing as well, but I don't know if she'd be considered a moga. I'm not sure if he was forcing her to dress like that or if she really wanted to, who knows. Western style uniforms were also a huge part of the era. Almost every official position would require one, so it really makes a lot of sense why the Demon Slaying Corps would sport a Western style uniform, at least in the top part. The top part and the belt is actually extremely historically accurate. The pants that they wear are still very Japanese, likely some modified version of a hakama, maybe something similar to a tatsuke hakama. Leg warmers and then zori. Overall a really nice fusion of new and old. Not quite historically accurate, but it really makes sense thematically for their role in the series. Jumping back to men, especially in the cities, you really saw the adoption of Western fashion. Who's is a perfect example of this, sporting strictly Western fashion that must have cost him a pretty penny. Full Western outfit at the time was definitely a status symbol and also a show of a modern mindset, which totally makes sense for his character. Although it was interesting that when he was in his female form, he wasn't wearing Western clothing. Tanjiro starting the series wearing traditional Japanese clothing since he's from a poor mountain-dwelling family perfectly sets him apart from the main antagonist. There's so much more I could talk about, the Hashida's Haori, beauty items at the time, character deep dives, but I'll end the video here. Definitely let me know if you want more historical content. Let me show you some Taisho era or 1920s Japan beauty products that you can actually still buy today. If there are any Demon Slayer fans, these are the products that they actually would have been using at the time, which is really cool. First up is Oideramine from Shiseido. It was actually released in 1897, making it a little bit older than the Taisho period. This is what the original bottle looked like. It was really well received, especially by geisha. They swore by wearing this under their thick, heavy makeup because it kept their skin really soft and supple. And honestly, they're not lying when they call this a skin softener. It truly does make your skin like instantly soft. For lazy girls with dry skin, this is a really great makeup remover and I use it all the time. From 1885, we have Meishoko's Biganshi. I would say the box and the bottle has remained largely unchanged, which is really cool despite being like over 100 years old. This was like the acne fighting treatment back then. The chemist who made it actually made it for his wife who was struggling with acne at the time and really sad about it. He just wanted to make her smile, so he made this for her. A lot of dermatologists still to this day highly recommend this for getting rid of like blackheads and acne, so definitely check it out. From 1915, there's the Hechima Koron. I love the early designs of their advertisements. If you're into graphic design at all, I highly recommend checking them out. Hechima is just the Japanese word for the loofah plant. Loofah water actually has a really long history in Japan as a skin lotion, dating all the way back to the Muromachi period or the 1300s when the plant was introduced from China. But it was really around the Edo period when Hechima water gained a lot of popularity, especially among the common class, because it was a really affordable way to soothe the skin and treat acne. It was often recommended and sold together with face powder because it made a really good base. There are many variations of Hechima lotion being sold throughout the Edo and the Meiji period, but this is from a Taisho company, bottled and sold as Hechima Koron. This bottle is actually very similar to the original as well. Last up is Oshima Tsubaki oil. This is 100% camellia oil, which has been used in Japan for like thousands of years. This one that you can still buy today came out in 1927, so technically it missed the Taisho period by like 1 year, but it's still like the 20s, you know? Very gentle on the skin and hair while not being too sticky, perfect for dry hair, and 100% odorless. Women love to use this to smooth their hair back in the day, especially the moga or Japanese flappers. Yes, he does wear very Western clothes and I love the reason why. Let's take a look at his outfit from a historical context. When I first saw him, I immediately fell in love with his coat. Immediately thought of a morning coat. This is from a promotional magazine from 1906. I say this because he also wears striped trousers, which often are worn with a morning coat, but he clearly has some tails on the back, so I thought maybe a tailcoat instead. Tailcoat would be quite formal, and by the time that the series takes place in the Taisho period, you would only really see them in the evening, which could definitely make sense because he is a demon that only comes out at night. But traditionally with the tailcoat, the pants and the suit would have been made out of the same material, and in fact by the end of the Meiji period, the government actually required that people did have to match their top and pant in their tailcoat suits. So either way, this outfit must have been very expensive for him. He definitely stands out amongst the other men at the time who could only really afford like a Western style shirt to wear under their yukata. Buy Western style clothes, especially formal Western clothes, could have cost up to like a year or two of somebody's salary, so this is quite impressive. I think the reason that he dresses like this is because he takes so much pride in his job, so much so that he literally dresses up and spends money to do so. I've lived in Japan for 6 years now, and there's always one thing that never fails to give me culture shock. Well, it's actually two things combined. One, not helping strangers, and two, letting elderly or like vulnerable people in general just fend to themselves in public. The other day, my husband and I were walking back from the store and we saw this like very elderly woman clinging to the fence that was across the street from the parking lot, shaking with the effort and taking like literal centimeter steps like forward to wherever she was going. Clearly something was like very wrong. Anybody who would walk by her would like know that nothing was fine, you know what I mean? She had also dropped her walking aid, you know, the ones that like little grandmas push, a few meters back, and had like clearly decided that she couldn't go back for it, which is so sad. Nobody, and I mean nobody, was helping her. It's very obvious that this had been happening for at least like 10 or 15 minutes. Judging by like how far away she was from her walking aid, I would say at least 50 people would have had to pass her and not stopped. As soon as we left the store, I immediately noticed her and left my own walking aid. I have health problems too, so I have my own pushing aid abandoned it behind to run and grab hers to bring it to her while my husband like went to go talk to her. I mean, she was so clearly out of it. Like, all that she could tell us is that she lived in the neighborhood and that she was really tired and like really wanted to rest. So we just kind of like put her chair down, like helped her sit down on it, and then we're like trying to get any information that we could out of her. Mind you, so many people were still passing by and still nobody offered any help. Nobody asked what was going on or if we needed anything, like nothing. There's actually a guy who had like a larger transport car that slowed down, and I thought he was gonna like offer to help like bring her wherever she needed because it was kind of clear that she couldn't walk. But no, just like nosy, wanted to see what was going on. I think we spent about like 15 minutes trying to talk to her, and at that point we were like really stressing because it was like hot outside. She had a phone but like hadn't brought it. Like, she couldn't tell us any information, no phone numbers, her name, like where she lived, like nothing. We were like about to put her on my walking aid because it's like a lot bigger and made for like transporting someone in case of an emergency, hoping to like take her back to the store and like call the police or something. And thankfully like her grandson or something like came walking down the street saying that he was looking for her. I don't know, it just breaks my heart. Like, this lady was super lucky that she had somebody looking out for her, but so many people live alone, especially elderly people, and like the fact that like it's so common for them to get passed up on the street, it's like, I don't know, just really shocking for me as an American. Even after so many years, it's the one thing that I just like cannot get over. Like, I'm sure that someone would help these people eventually, but like how far does it have to go? Like, for that old lady, for example, like she could have had a heat stroke or anything. It was very hot outside and very humid, and she had clearly been out there for a while. Like, maybe I'm just too soft, but it just really bothers me to my like core. Yukari is like one of my style icons, so I want to try to get her fluffy hair using one of these wave tools. Something like this has always intrigued me as someone who just like cannot use a curler, and thankfully my hair is kind of naturally curly, so I don't have to do my whole head. I set it to 370 and just kind of went in where my hair would naturally wave to see what it would do, and I don't know why I was expecting anything different, but it looks so cute. My natural wave pattern actually looks very similar to this, so it's kind of nice to know that I'll have a tool to fix up my hair sometimes. Plus, it gives so much volume. I literally haven't seen this much fluffiness since the spring. Definitely not in the summertime. But yeah, I think it took like 5 minutes to go through my hair and get this like overall effect. I love the way this looks way more than a curler, and it gave me exactly what I want. I feel like this is like literally Yukari's hair. I love it. Trying some Japanese makeup that Is-It can make. First up is the Correcting Cream Veil from Clé de Peau. If you're at all interested in Japanese makeup, then you definitely know at Cosme, this primer has been at the top of the charts for like years. And the only reason I haven't tried it sooner is because it's like 7,000 yen. Like, this stuff is not cheap. It only comes in one color, and basically it's like a tone-up cream. It's just supposed to like slightly enhance your complexion. But it looks like all dried down. I mean, like, it's fine, but I don't think it's worth 7,000 yen. Next up, I got the loose powder from talkkk. This powder is also highly ranked. I always see it at the top of the charts. I feel like every Japanese girl has used this at some point. I'm just gonna add some concealer and then we can see how it works. I'm not really the biggest fan of loose setting powders. I just think they're really messy, but I've always heard really good things about this one. Like, it's super finely milled and it like blurs your pores to perfection. Wow, it is like ultra matte, but it still has like a little bit of luminosity, which I really appreciate. This kind of skin finish is so popular in Japan. I feel like it looks really good. Okay, next up I have another powder. I honestly think Japanese powders are the best. I always want to try them. I picked this one up from Majolica because the case is so pretty and like vintage and whimsical looking. Look at it. I think this powder is supposed to be brightening, so let's see what it does. Ooh. Very like smooth and buttery. You can tell it's very finely milled. I love Japanese powders. This is with and this is without. You can see it has a little bit of coverage right here, and trust me, in real life I have no pores. Like, even though I'm wearing so much powder, my base looks amazing. Wow. Next up I have a couple of eyeshadows. These are also from Majolica. These little guys are actually single eyeshadows that you can pull out like this. And then this palette is from Vise, one of my favorite Japanese drugstore brands. I love how like dated Japanese makeup looks. Like, this looks like it came right out of like 2001. I'm gonna use this light gray first all over my lid. Japanese makeup is all about the satin shimmer, and honestly I hated it at first, but now I really vibe with it. Taking the black color now in the outer part of my eye. Actually a lot more pigmented than I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna do my classic eyeshadow placement. I'm like addicted to doing this extra shadow right now. Also using the black to draw my aegyo. Then taking this really pretty shimmer to highlight them, also on the lid. And then I'm just gonna finish with this purple color right in my inner corner area. Actually also a lot more intense than I thought it was gonna be. Really pretty though. If you're coming to Japan, definitely don't sleep on Japanese makeup. I just have to show you guys the craziest highlighter that I've ever found. Like, literally breaks my camera. Look at this. But wait, disappeared. Super intense, right? Nothing. There, nothing. Really can't get over it. It's like magic every time. The shade is Drop from the Diaveroon Dewdrops palette. Check it out. I feel like everybody has a couple of ancient lipsticks that they just cannot let go of for whatever reason, and I want to show mine. I absolutely love these kind of videos, so I wanted to show the two lipsticks that I've kept for like the last 8 years. I think I bought these in around 2015 or 16. These are both Urban Decay Vice lipsticks, and both of them are frosted. First up is my favorite lipstick of all time. This is Studded. It's a super cool toned medium dark brown. It's almost gray with really fine silver shimmer. You really can't see individual sparkles. It is just so beautiful. Just so like cool and vampy. I don't know, it's really unique. I've never found a dupe for this, but if anybody knows, please let me know. Next up is Pallor. It's like a muted purpley gray base with purple shimmer. Look how beautiful and flattering and stunning this purple is. This one's actually from their Frosted collection. I don't remember what year this came out, but there was like 6 or 7 other frosted cool shades. I had a lot of them. It was like a blue and a lighter purple shade. I had so many of them and I love them, but this is the one that really stuck out to me. And I'm so sad I can't find a dupe for this one either. Let me know what your lipstick is that you just can't let go of. I am always on the hunt for dusty blushes, and I feel like I just hit the jackpot. Like, look at this row. Just look at that. Picked up 6 of the palest shades, and oh my god. If you've been following me for a long time, you would know that these 2 blushes are my favorite dusty shades, and I feel like they have some competition. Swatch them. Oh. Not a hint of life in these at all. Here's them all swatched. I just have to try this one first. Oh yeah. This is so pretty. Oh my god. On camera, this looks a lot more pink, but in real life, you can like really see the dusty purpleness. I'm gonna try this one next. It's like even more purple. Okay, this one is definitely more pigmented. Can you see how dusty this shade is? I really don't think these are for everybody, but I am absolutely in love with these. I typically don't wear this much blush, but these just look so cool in real life. Very vampy and gothic. If you've been hunting for a dusty blush, no matter your skin tone, because they have a lot of shades, definitely check them out. Get ready with me in my new countryside house. Well, it's not like so countryside. It's still like an hour and a half to most places in Tokyo. If you've lived here, you know that's pretty much average. I wanted to film here sooner, but there was some issues moving in to the point where like all of this tatami behind me had to be replaced. If you have never seen naked tatami floors before, now you have. For the last week or so, we've been dealing with like all the contractors coming and going and getting everything sorted. However, the silver lining is that we have new tatami. It smells so good, and if you know, you know. The whole house just like doesn't need air fresheners anymore because you can just smell this instead. It's also really nice to know that only my dirty feet have been on these. I'm not a huge germaphobe, but I definitely side eye things like carpet or tatami, especially if it's been used before. I'm kind of like, how much stuff is just like lurking under there, you know? In my perfect world, carpets and tatami would be replaced between every person that comes in. But honestly, other than that, the move went so smoothly. Seriously, Japanese moving companies are amazing. They treat your things so carefully. Like, I'm not even kidding, not a single item of yours will get a dent, a scratch. I was sweating because I have so much fragile makeup that's like also limited edition, and I was so scared it was gonna break, but not even a single eyeshadow cracked, so worth every penny. I'm just so happy and grateful to have this house. Not only is the neighborhood really cute, but it just has so much space for us to live like adults. This is the first time that we've owned a dining table in like 5 or 6 years. We can get a car and a cat. I have a space to do my filming, and then my husband has his office upstairs. But yeah, this will be my filming space from now on. I think I just have to play with the lighting like a little bit because I used to just sit in front of a window and I can't really do that anymore. So I have some studying to do. Cheers to countryside. I feel like everybody has that one anime that really convinced them to move to Japan, and I want to share mine because I just made my dream purchase. My favorite anime of all time is Gegege no Kitaro, and this is a character called Medama Oyaji. I have been wanting this thing for so long, I think like 5 or 6 years, ever since I saw one in a themed cafe when I first got here. This anime is not really popular outside of Japan, so finding merch for it is like almost impossible, which is such a shame because the characters are so cute. If you really like spooky things and ghosts and whatever, this show is amazing. It's basically just like a kid's show about yokai, but like I think everybody enjoys it. Mangaka is kind of like a Walt Disney figure in Japan. I saw that I was moving into this house and there was a large tatami room that I was going to be using for filming. I was like, I know the perfect thing that I must have in the background, and it is this guy. It was not cheap, let me tell you, but I just know that he's gonna look so cute sitting back there. I love practical merch. Let me plug him in real quick. It's perfect. I found 2 more Gothic K-Beauty lip tints, so let's try them. I got 01 Crystal Ball and then 07 Bloody Ball. These are not like perfect spooky names. This is the packaging for the Quartz Ball shade. This looks so pretty. It's very sheer, which I was expecting. Here's it all built up. It looks a lot more spooky and kind of like muted purple in real life, but on camera I think it just kind of looks like a really nice plum, which I also enjoyed. And for those curious, this is what it looks like on a concealed lip. So cute. I feel like it's like the perfect everyday gothic neutral. I love it. Okay, next up is Bloody Ball. Of course I had to buy it because I had the word blood in it. This is what it looks like. Let's try it. I feel like they really nailed the undertone. This is such a beautiful blood red shade. It's not too orange and it's not too purple. I feel like they put like a drop of black in this to make it a little bit more muted. It is so gorgeous. I feel like this would look so good with a dark lip liner. Also, like, look at all the bottles together. Isn't this not adorable? Hi, hello. I just wanted to put a quick PSA out to say that I am a block happy content creator. Like, if you are commenting on my videos and especially if you don't follow me and you're saying weird stuff or weird negative things, I will block you and I will do so swiftly. So if you want to have access to my content, if you like my recommendations, that's fine that you don't follow me, but try not to say anything negative because I will cut your access. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, her. This is Girl Code's newest collection, which is obviously peach themed. Normally I think every peach collection is absolutely horrendous, but this is like the best rendition of a peach collection I have ever seen. Look at the mirror. I think this is their best one yet. Here's what the blush compacts look like. They are matte and velvet this time. Here are the 2 like everyday blush shades that I got, and then I got these ones. But before I try those, I really want to try this light shade because I heard it's like a really good brightening color. Let's see. Wow. I wasn't expecting it to be that pigmented. These are like so creamy and they melt right into your skin. I don't know if you can like see the texture, but it is like butter. Wow. I'm gonna need a backup of that one. Okay, next of course I have to try this jelly shade. I think it's supposed to be like very sheer and glossy. Definitely glossy. I actually think this is like really pretty. It looks like I'm like flushing from within and it's so glass-like. Also, both of them did not disturb my base underneath, which is great. Next up are the lipsticks. There's 2 formulas in the collection. There's the film forming one and then a solid lip gloss. I'm most excited for these 2. This one's a really dark chocolate brown with pink shimmer, and then this one's like a forest green also with pink shimmer. I think this is a little bit too warm tone for me, but wow, this shade is gorgeous. If you are a warm tone person, I think you would love this. Okay, next up the green shade. I have been wanting to try this so bad. This is so pretty. I think one of my favorite lip products I've ever tried from them. Like, it's definitely going to be in the top 3. Girl Code is victorious once again.
That's just mixer what it is still quite translucent.
I have not been able to get this Aaron Parsons video out of my head. I love the look of the lead mixed with the almond oil. It's so luminous and beautiful. But to be a little bit safer, I thought maybe the White House Labs foundation would be like a better alternative. Because honestly, rubbing it all over my hand, it does look promising. I feel like this looks exactly like her hand, so I really hope it translates to my face. I'm gonna use a lot and just cosplay that I am a vampire of the Renaissance period. Oh my god, this is like exactly what I was looking for. Do you see this like spectral glow? Okay, here's her hand and here's my face. Is this not identical? Here's a close-up of my skin so you can just really see the texture. It's actually really blurring. I didn't read anything about what this foundation is supposed to do. I just saw the color and was like, that looks like lead paint. But this is like gorgeous. That might not be completely historically accurate, but as a beauty history fan, I have so much fun pretending to put my lead paint on. I guess check it out if you want the lead paint look. A lot of people asked me to do a full look using the White House Labs foundation that looks like lead paint. I didn't film my finished look yesterday, so get ready with me now. Start by adding 2 pumps because I want my base to look actually pretty white today. Now I'm using a color corrector under my eyes that's a little bit too dark for me because I like that like blush from the eye look. I see a lot of people in Korea doing this and I also like it. Normally you're supposed to put this stuff under your foundation, but I think it looks cooler on top. Grabbing a tiny bit of concealer just for around my nose. And then I want to stick with this hyper glowy look and use this Girl Cult Jelly Blush. It basically just makes you look like you're flushed with fever. For my eyeshadow, I want to try this palette that Adept Cosmetics sent me. I've been wanting this forever and I'm so happy to have it now. Giving myself a nice base with this like brownie olive shade. I really want to look like I'm on death's doorstep. And I know a lot of people think this is weird, but I like to add a shadow on this like dip part of my nose to like accentuate it. I just love the way it hollows out my eyes and I think it looks really cool. Definitely something I learned from Xiaohongshu and I just can't stop doing it. Right now for the red part of my eyeshadow, I have to try this shade. It's kind of hard with nails, but oh my gosh, so pretty. And I need that like classic Gerard Way maroon all under my eyes. And then of course a white glitter right on my eye back. Gray eyebrow mascara per usual. All right, now I need corpse lips. Been obsessed with this product ever since I tried it. My favorite Hue shade, just in the center of my lips, and then right over my cupid's bow, and then right under my lips. Extra beauty marks, put them in. This is the finished look. Okay, I've been seeing this yassified Jack Skellington all over my Twitter for the last week, and honestly, he looks really slay, so I want to recreate his makeup. Here's a closer view of what it looks like. White base first, of course, but sheer, because I want this look to be very wearable. Now I need gray and lots of it. Using the cream eyeshadow from Mob Beauty and being very generous around my eyes, using it almost like a blush. Then some under my nose and under my lips. Gray eyeshadow, more gray eyeshadow, hollowing out my eyes by placing shadow right here, and then lots of black. And then I really want to use this Black Moon Cosmetics shadow. Just wait. So pretty. Juicy single on the bottom lid. Do I use anything else? And also on this like inner part of my eye. Almost forgot my egg so much better. Gray eyebrow mascara, nothing new here. And then this is the lip situation, so I'm gonna do a couple of steps. Corpse base first, gray lip clay, tiny bit of black eyeshadow to get a nice gradient, and then with a white shadow I'm gonna try to copy the cracks on his lips like so. Okay, this looks really cool. I'm just going to blend a little bit more. Let's pray that it survives a gloss. This is the finished look. So spooky, but like still really wearable. Now I just have to wait a couple more hours so I can pull on the Nightmare Before Christmas banner in the game. Well, I think we all collectively bullied Roman into making black lipsticks. They confirmed it is happening. And guess who got some samples? Now it seems like they're wanting to make one lip tint, and you all are not gonna believe this. A matte one too. Here is the first lip tint. Wow. This is everything I could have ever asked for. It feels exactly like their Juicy Lip Tint, like smell and all, so I think that's gonna be the formula. And here it is all built up. Next up, this one is labeled Warm Matte. So buttery and blendable, and it's so deep. Is this not so beautiful? I feel like I'm gonna say that with every shade. Also, I just can't believe that a shade like this could be from a Korean brand. Alright, so this is the shimmer version of the black tint. Okay, looks like a little bit more gray than the first one, which I'm not mad at all. There's some silver shimmer in it as well, but it's not really overpowering. You can't really see it. Here's it all built up. I don't know which one I like more. Last up, we have the second matte option. It kind of looks blue, but I like that. It's also very pigmented. This is really pretty, but I think I would have to choose the first black if I was going to choose one, because I take my blacks very seriously. And this one is just really, really blue, but I do think it looks super rad as like a dark blue lipstick. Let me know which one was your favorite. I noticed CBD Mall was on TikTok Shop now, so I wanted to give my recommendations to the few people who are lucky enough to access it. I feel like the prices on here are cheaper than their actual website, so especially if you have a coupon, I would check it out. First up would obviously be Freya's collaboration with Shenyan or Chiria. This palette is just absolutely perfect. It's just a wide range of different finishes you can get, and I don't know, I love this palette so much and I reach for it all the time. If you've been meaning to get your hands on a Nanami palette, they have a couple on there as well. These are some of my favorite palettes in all of my collection. I highly recommend like anything that comes from Nanami. The Dragon collection is also on there, and I feel like it's the best price that I've seen anywhere online, so definitely check that out if you've been wanting to get your hands on this one. We have Girl Cult's newest Peach release. I especially recommend this blush right here. It's so gorgeous. They also have some of their older products on there, and they also have some Shelby products. This is also one of my favorite CBD brands. I especially recommend their highlighting palette because it's just like so many cool colors and the finish is so beautiful if you like colored highlighters. Definitely check out their page if you've been wanting to get your hands on some niche CBD. Alright, Japanese beauty Twitter got me again. Look at this shade. This one right here, I had to have it. This is from the K-beauty brand Laka, and it's my first time trying them, but I know they're really popular here. And the shade is 123 Unsweet Berry, which is supposed to mimic blackberries trapped in ice. To me, it looks like a perfect witchy plum. Let's try it. For people wondering, I always do a sheer layer first and then I blend it into my lip liner, so this is what it looks like, really sheared out. And then I go for the final swipe. I am already obsessed with this. This is so beautiful and it literally lives up to the description. So perfect for fall. I think this is like one of the darkest Korean lip tints I've ever tried. Like if you have been looking for a deep vampy one, I think this is your girl. And for those curious, this is the stain that you're left with. I love it. Let's try some new Mob Beauty makeup. First of all, I have to say, Courtney, you really did that. Like, these colors are so beautiful. I already swatched them on my hand, so I kind of know what they look like, but I can't wait to put them on my face. And I think I'm gonna shock everybody and try the blue one first and not the gray. Visualizing my lips first. Let's see. Oh, wait. This is definitely like hypothermia core. I know very few people are gonna wear it like this, but if you do, this is what it looks like. Okay, next up, the gray. I trust Courtney with my life, so I know this gray is about to be so good. Just applying how I normally would, focusing the color on the center and then kind of blending out the edges. This is stunning. I've tried a lot of gray lipsticks, but I feel like the undertone in this one is so universally flattering. If you've been wanting to get into gray lipsticks, but you were a little bit scared they might be too blue and make your skin like a little bit too yellow or dead, this one is that girl. Like, I don't even want to mess it up, but a lot of people were recommending their lip liner in M159, so I have to take it off. But I guess it's okay because this is supposed to be a really beautiful, very cool toned lip liner. So let's see. Doing my liner as I usually do when I use dark colors. Heavy on the top lip and then just a little bit under my bottom one. Yeah. This is beautiful. It's very cool toned, almost gray on me. I think if you like Korean style lip liners but you were looking for one like a little bit darker or your skin tone's a little bit deeper so you need this more depth, this would be a perfect shade. Like, it's literally just a deeper option. And I know you all are gonna comment it, so yes, I'll put the blue one on my bottom lip with this lip liner. Here's what it looks like. Courtney. I literally love everything I got, as usual. Do you ever just see a makeup collection and think that is so violently me? Like, they were literally thinking about me when they made this. That is exactly how I feel about News's blush line that they just released. And yeah, your eyes do not deceive you. That is a gray blush. It is so rare that I'm ever tempted to buy a whole collection, but this one really tested me. Literally love all of these colors. And basically the way that the system works is they came out with 6 blush shades and then 2 shades that you can mix together to customize them however you like. These are the 3 shades that I got. The gray, of course. This one's just called Down. The muted mauve shade. Korea's just been pumping these out lately and I eat them all up. This one's called Dim Dum. And then the white for science. This one's just called Up. I just first want to see how these mix on my hand. This is like my perfect blush shade that I've been searching for. And the formula is really gel-like, so I just know it'll be good on my face. All right, I'm gonna put a dot of the mauve shade in 3 places. Gray on this side, and then white on the other. All right, let's see what just the mauve looks like. So pretty. I would definitely wear that by itself. But I'm most excited for the gray. That is such a pretty color. Let me blend it in. Is this not like the perfect shade of blush for my skin tone? Let's see the white. I think it's a little bit hard to see on my face, but this side definitely looks a little bit more pink. I think the white brought out like the pink pigment And then definitely the bluish gray cooled this down to like a more true dusty purple. Formula is super gel-like, and as you can see, it just has a really beautiful glow. And it didn't disrupt my base at all. I really want to buy the other colors, you guys. I have no idea. They also come with like a little keychain so you can like put them on your bag. I don't normally do this, but it is cute. Well, I really love these. I hope they come out globally soon. Like, these just launched in Korea, so I'm guessing it's gonna be a while, but I wonder what the gray looks like by itself.
Necromancy, look how intensely gray this color is.
There's a lot of Erin Parsons videos I think about constantly, but her review of Necromancy Cosmetica lives in my head rent-free, so finally I pulled the trigger. Let's do a little try on. First up is Naked Witch, and she is so right. This is violently gray, which means I'll love it. This is definitely another corpse shade to add to my collection. If you didn't know, those are like my favorite nudes. I feel like with this outfit, this is definitely giving Victorian ghost. Next up is Lestrange, and this might be hyper specific, but I'm always looking for a dupe for Victoria from the Corpse Bride's lip color, and I have high hopes for this one. Fingers crossed. Wait. It's not her lip shade. I thought definitely the gray one was gonna be my favorite, but I think it's this one. This would definitely be living on my vanity. Okay, those first two were definitely the most neutral out of the bunch that I got. These are the other three that are a lot more fun. This next one is called Ghoul Queen. I go by Ghoul online, so of course I had to get it. So very intrigued by the color. Like Beryl from Night Before Christmas, his lips were this color. Okay, maybe this one's my favorite. This is such an interesting blue shade. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more green, but maybe on my skin tone it pulls a little bit more blue. Sorry, my husband's like building something upstairs and I just looked it up. Is Beryl's lip color. This is so cool and actually really wearable. I think it's very flattering to my skin tone. Next one is Witch's Brew. This one is definitely a lot drier than the other ones. It kind of has a really strong Play-Doh smell. I don't know if this one's like okay, but and it's like sticking my lips together. This one's maybe gone off because it has a really strong like bad smell, which is really sad because I really like this color. Okay, well after that tragedy, the last one is Deadly Nightshade, and it literally just reminds me of the Deadly Nightshade pot from Night Before Christmas. I'm so sorry about all these Tim Burton references. Ooh, this one is very creamy. Oh yeah, it's just like a true gargoyle gray. These kind of grays tend to look a little bit more blue on my skin, which I absolutely love. This is also a really good neutral color. Here's all the shades swatched together so you can just really see the differences in tones. Other than the casualty, I am so happy with my purchase. Definitely check them out. My husband is very good at gift giving. I have mentioned this before, and look what I woke up to today. It's a brew basket that we could see what's inside together. I don't even know where to start. First off, I guess I'll show all the candy. Haichu, talkkk of course, a bunch of chocolate snacks. Oh, and the Beetlejuice Fanta. I tried this a couple weeks ago and he loved it a lot more than me, so I think this is kind of for him. Something from Chanel. I wonder what it is. Looks like a lipstick. What? I didn't even know this existed. What the fuck? Okay, I'm very excited to wear this. He loves when I wear purple, so this might be a little bit for him as well. Okay, I can't ignore the sandworm any longer. This is so cool. This is from Lush, their collaboration, and I have been so obsessed with Lush the past week or two. Like, he has not heard the end of it, so this bag also smells like Lush, so I'm thinking there might be some more stuff inside here. It's also leaking a mysterious green goo. Very Halloween. I think it's from this guy. This is the Toil and Trouble Power Slime. And Bob! Ghost soap is goth juice. I think he probably just got it because it had the word goth on it, or maybe he was just in the Halloween section. Look how cute the wrap is. I didn't know Lush made stuff like this. Do you guys know what this is? I was just gonna be one of the Vampire Hunter D novels because there's like a bunch of them and they all have really beautiful artwork and I love the series. This is actually the art book of all the work that Yoshitake Amino has done. This is so cool. So much. Face is hurting from smiling so much. I wish he was here to like watch me. I'm absolutely going to cherish this forever. Okay, last up I see Jack. His little face unzips. I love it. Well, that's all. I love my husband. Goodbye. If you like CBD, I have a very innovative series in my opinion that I want to share today. This is the Art Tour collection from Shenyang or Cheeria. Basically what this collection is for is to build your own palette. These are all individual shades. This is their second time doing a collection like this, and this is the palette I built with their first series, just so you can see the possibilities. By no means do you have to buy the entire collection, but I wanted to show you what's inside of this one. First up, there's 2 magnetic palettes to choose from. Then there are 4 face powders, a pink brightening powder, another brightening color, and then a warm warm contour and a cool contour, which are very finely milled, by the way. Next, there are 4 spot highlight shades, and if you're familiar with CBD, you know what these are for. Alright, there was 3 highlighters and then 1 general transition shade. Between the highlighters, you get 2 of the very, very sheeny CBD style highlights that are like not sparkly at all, and then 1 of the sparkle type. These are all of the face options. Then there are 12 eyeshadows to choose from. First up, there are 4 special shades. Think like Pat McGrath, the Astral Blitz shades. This one is my absolute favorite. It is a true silver that shifts like a really bright blue. I have never seen anything like this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it on my eyes. This is not for the faint of heart. If you want a blinding shimmer, go with this one. Wow. There are 4 scattered sparkle shimmers. These are my favorite CBD type formulas. Lastly, there are 4 satin shimmers, which I've never really seen from a CBD brand before, so that's really cool. So here are all the total options in this collection, and this is what my personal color palette would look like. I just feel like if you are a working makeup artist who really enjoys Chinese makeup, or you just have never really found the perfect like CBD palette for you, definitely check this system out. So my husband bought me a Chanel lipstick the other day, and it's literally the darkest gothic purple I've like ever seen. I didn't even know Chanel made lip colors like this anymore, that is. So I thought we could try it together. This is the Rouge Allure Liquid Velvet in the shade 236. First of all, the packaging is really, really nice. I haven't gotten a new Chanel lipstick in years. I think this one is so pretty. It's like frosted plastic. And here's what the color looks like. I feel like it looks like a true like Halloween purple. I don't think I've ever had a lipstick this color. Fun fact, my husband's favorite color of makeup to see me wear is purple, so that's probably why he got it. Let's try. What? It is like lightly scented, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I kind of want to like sheer it out just to see what it will do. Okay, here's what it looks like sheared out and then dried down. It did dry down kind of fast, but it is a matte lipstick that's liquid, so that's to be expected. I want to build it up now. I kind of don't want to know how much it costs, but I really, really like it, and of course I will treasure it because this is like the 2nd lipstick that my husband's ever bought for me, so I will keep it forever. This vampire manhwa has been all over my For You page, and I am obsessed, especially with this lady. I was so distracted by her makeup the whole time, so let's recreate it. White base first to get that immortal glow. Dark color corrector over the top because it looks cool. A little bit of extra white concealer. Glow actually sent me this, and I need to do a review soon because it is so pretty. Alright, for eyes, she has this very stunning, like, glossy muted pink look. I'm thinking these pinks will be perfect. These are from Glamour Nature's Barely Basic palette. But first I'm gonna take this blush and like these 2 shades and use them as a base just so the eyeshadows don't pull too purple. This is from Day 6 new collection, by the way, the Rose Milk Tea collection. It's so cute. Okay, now taking this shade, going all over the eyelid and then under my eye. A little bit of this darker shade just for some depth. And then I have the perfect shimmer for this look. This is D127 from Juicy. I'm going to place this right in the center of my eye, a little bit on the bottom as well. Black liner, mascara, and then I think I'm gonna add a couple of cluster lashes. Yeah, much better. Thinner brows today. Doesn't look like she wears blush, so I'm just going without and moving on to lips. I need a black upper lip. Definitely making sure to define my cupid's bow. And then I'm just taking the excess and putting it under my bottom lip. Taupe lip liner, keeping the shape quite round and pouty. Then a deep blood red lip tint. This one's from Girl Cult, right in the center. Adding a little bit to my top lip as well, just for some shine. Here is the final look. So pretty. I'm in love with this. And the manga. It's only like 6 chapters, so definitely go read it. Well, I've officially joined the Lush cult, and this is my humiliation ritual. I've mostly been trying their fragrances, so I wanted to give my thoughts. If Lush is our cult, then Super Milk is our divine leader. Not a fragrance per se, but it could be. It smells like root beer candy and like lemon pez. Then it dries down to an actually not annoying sweet vanilla. Plus, it's a really good hair product. Like, my hair has been so shiny and healthy feeling. Love. Death and Decay. The name intrigued me and my goth heart just could not resist. Somber and clean in a funeral home kind of way. Actually, this smells like a photorealistic casket viewing. Chemicals and all. Like months and months of lilies in funeral parlor air, you know, in and out with different services. So it's fresh, but also a little bit wilted and, well, decayed. Lord of Misrule. I got the body spray first and then I needed the fragrance. Fragrance is exactly the same, just a little bit stronger. If you love a spicy vanilla, this is definitely for you. I highly recommend. It smells like a cold night, like distinctively fall or winter, and a witch is just in her home having a cozy little ritual or night in. Maybe has the wind window open to like let in the frigid air. Just vanilla, patchouli, and some black pepper. Simple but so good. Turmeric latte. I don't know how I feel about this one. Literally everybody was recommending this to me as the fall scent. It smells terrible and then good and then kind of awful again and then pleasant after that. Starts as like a freshly lit campfire, kind of smoky, and then it turns into this kind of boiled carrot tonka bean smell, which lasts at least an hour, and then it finally will mellow down into like a very kind of pleasant spiced vanilla caramel. Just something pungent and earthy in this that I don't quite like. Some people said they can't smell a turmeric note, but to me it is very present, and I don't know if that's just like the Japanese formulation, but I'm not a gourmand girl, and the reason is that they don't really work on my skin, and I think this just might be an instance of that. And then lastly, Snow Fairy is the one that really kind of stuck out to me, surprisingly. I know I just said I typically don't like gourmands, but I do tend to like the ones that kind of smell like powdered candy, and to me this smells like vintage bubblegum, the ones that have like powder on them, and candy necklaces. Very pleasant and cozy and very innocent and sugared. There's just something I really like about it, and it just makes me feel warm inside, touches my frigid heart. If you have any other lush recommendations, definitely leave them down below. I am all ears. I already have vampiric makeup on today, so I thought it'd be a perfect time to talk about this fragrance since a lot of people were asking what it smelled like. This is Vampirum from Lorenzo Pazzalia, and basically this is a dark, boozy bomb of a vanilla. I'll just throw up the notes right now. Has like a million kinds of vanillas in it, heavy on the rum, caramel, a little bit of spice. And I know not everybody likes patchouli, but personally it's one of my favorite scents. And in this case, it comes off a bit ancient, a bit dusty in the best way possible. To me personally, this smells like centuries ago when vanilla was worth its weight in gold and a vampire or even another dark entity deeply coveted it. Smooth, it's sensual, and it's not too sweet, which I definitely prefer with vanillas. And while it definitely dries down to be quite cozy, there is this touch of like something sinister to it. I've also seen people searching for like a vanilla extract fragrance on here, and I feel like this would be a great contender. I think it's that really heavy booze note. You definitely get that kind of like extract vanilla kind of scent, but this one's definitely more refined and elegant. It lasts forever. This is definitely like a beast mode fragrance. The projection is crazy, which I'm not always the biggest fan of living in Japan. It will haunt you like a dark cloak, but in this case I'm okay with it. Truly a perfect vanilla for me, and I'm so happy I got it. Definitely check it out. It's come to my attention that a lot of people think I am in black and white. It's one of my most popular comments, so I'll show you how I do it. First up, olive foundation. If you don't have olive skin, this will look a little bit ashy or even green on you, but that is kind of the vibe. The green in the foundation will just cancel out all the color in your face, especially if you have a lot of redness, which will make you look like you're kind of in black and white. And if you already have olive skin, it will just perfectly match your skin tone. If you want to contour, use the grayest one you can find. This is Intuition from Ritual to Feet, and as you can see, it is very gray. And then if you want to set your face, either use a translucent powder, or I like to use an actual kind of grayish powder, but these are kind of hard to find because you can only really find them in C Beauty. This is the face palette from Girl Cult. Now for blush, you don't want to apply a lot, and you want to use the dustiest mauve shade that you can find, and then you can just apply this where you normally would. By the way, this is from News in the shade Dim Dim. Highlighter doesn't matter too much as long as it's like light and cool toned. Now for eyeshadow, this is very important. We're going to use gray eyeshadow, obviously, but you want to choose the right gray. A warm gray is your best friend. This is going to be the one that's going to look the most grayscale, as opposed to a blue gray, which on a lot of people's skin tones is going to start pulling a little bit more blue, aka giving color to the face, which we don't want. You can do whatever eyeshadow shape you want, but I like to mimic the area where I get discoloration because I just think it looks the most seamless. If you want to add shimmer, just make sure it's a color close to gray, like white, silver, or even just this really muted pink. I always get questions about the glitters that I use, and like 9 times out of 10, it's a juicy single. This is the shade D127. Black eyeliner, black mascara, and if you're brave enough, a gray eyebrow mascara. For me, these are a must, but I understand like not everybody has access to these. A gray eyebrow pencil will do as well. For lips, I always like to start with a very taupe, almost gray lip liner that's very light color, and I like to fill in basically my whole lip except for this inner part. This is where you will really start looking like you're in black and white. And then I like to use either a really dusty kind of like pale pink color or just a black gloss. I think I'm gonna do a black gloss today, and there you go. This is my basic routine that I always get comments I look like black and white on. I hope you guys will try this out. There is a new alternative brand on the K-beauty market, and here's what their first collection looks like. This is Risky Beauty, and I have some products to try, so I thought we could try them together. There are 3 palettes in total, but I think I picked up the best one. First of all, the packaging is so cool. Look at this pigment. It's definitely the darkest option in Dim Berry. Taking this shade first and going all over my eye. Very pretty. And then now mixing these two browns. I love the tones of these. They're very much like your dark circles, but better. I'm gonna try some of the shimmers. I think this one would go well with this eye look. This is pretty with these shadows, but I actually think this shade would be so nice, like just by itself all over the lid for like a really quick look. I'll try the pink iridescent one just right on the bottom of my eye. I love this. It's like, I'm tired, but I'm hot. Okay, now I think my favorite thing in the collection is the lip glosses. There's 4 total, but I got both of the cool toned ones. Literally most excited for this dark one. You guys know how I feel about dark lip glosses. This is the shade Audi, and this is the shade Hissy Fit. This is what they look like swatched. And of course, I'm trying this one today. First, just lining my lips like I normally do. Let's see. These smell really good. You guys, I love this look. This is exactly what I look for when I look for like soft gothic Asian beauty things to reach for just like every day. Just soft neutral leaning shades that give you that kind of ghoulish look, and I feel like these definitely bring that vibe. So excited to see what else they will do. Alright, I have another lead paint alternative, and this one is from the K-Beauty brand Glow. They saw my video trying to dupe the lead foundation from Erin Parsons' video and were like, do you want to try our white foundation? And of course I was like, heck yeah. They also sent their matching white concealer, which I am very excited to try. Hand test first. I'm gonna do 1 pump each side, and I'm just gonna use my hand to start. Maybe this was too much. Feels amazing on the face though. Ooh, this side is so pretty. I think this was like the perfect amount. They sent me their sponge, so I'm gonna try it on this side to see if I can take off some of the product. Oh yeah. This looks so good, you guys. Here's what it looks like a little bit zoomed in so you can just see the texture. Okay, now let's see what the white concealer looks like. It comes with a pink color corrector on the other side as well. It is like super creamy. I'm going to use the pink under my eye. I'm really excited because I think I've definitely seen Korean makeup artists use this like exact product in their kit, so I'm glad to have it in mine. Now I'm going to use the white as just like an actual concealer. These just melt right into your skin. That is so gorgeous. Well, I feel like overall they gave a really nice lead paint finish and they feel great on the skin, very like skincare based. I will definitely be using these like crazy, so thank you so much, Glow. So my hobby is finding cool makeup and occasionally other things, and I always get a lot of questions about what's on my current wish list, so I thought I would tell you guys. And it's not just my hobby, but I think it's also my talent to find the dustiest like corpse color lip shades, especially from Asian brands. This is a new lipstick that just dropped from the Korean brand Nature Republic in the shade Chiffon Gray, and I need this color. And since I am a lippy fiend, I have a couple more on my list. These are from a new CBD brand called Girls Chat. They literally just launched, and this is from their darker set, and I think every single shade is gorgeous. Back to K-Beauty, I have my eye on this brand called 2/4. I think a lot of these lip colors are definitely up my alley, so I want to pick up a couple of them, especially this shade, of course this shade. Up next, of course, the new Girl Cult collection. This whole collection is inspired by the Miao people of China, who are really well known for their silver. I'm just like absolutely enamored by all the silver going on here because that is like my favorite metal. I need to get my hands on it. Next, I have a couple of things from the K-Beauty brand Fui, specifically these blush duos where you kind of get like one base color and then a point color. I want this cool toned one, and then this kind of like pinky red one is calling my name as well. I've been really into red blush lately. And then also their glass cushion. I actually swatched this the other day while I was out shopping, and I really like the finish of it. All right, you guys know that I have been really into fragrance lately and just building my collection, but recently I have been really interested in Chinese perfumes. This is the brand I have my eye on right now called I'm Soul. The two that I am really interested in right now are called The Witch and then the Joker, which I think is one of their most popular scents. Staying on the fragrance train, I really want the Nosferatu collaboration with Heretic. This has a petrichor note in it, which means I need it. And I could make a whole separate video about fragrances, but the last one on my list I'll mention today is the new release from Liquid Imaginaire. This is Lunatique. Absolutely obsessed with the concept photos. I will just always be immediately sold if there is a beautiful lady in armor holding something. And I know I don't talk about fashion a lot on here, but I do have these on my wish list. This is the Wednesday collaboration with Doc Martens, and I just really like these velvet platforms. I could just really see them fitting into my wardrobe really well, so I might pick them up. Well, I think that's all for now. I could probably keep going, but I should stop here. This just might be the most purple blush I have ever tried. This is not the color of the packaging, it's actually the color of the blush, so I thought we could try it together. This is the Hyper Fit Color Serum from Feve. It actually came in a set with another shade called Healthy Pink. It also looks really pretty, but of course this is the one I have to try today because I just have to know what this is gonna look like. All right, let's see. You know what? Wait, let me blend this side. This looks so cool. It blends out pretty sheer, but this is so pretty. And especially with this makeup look. And actually, since it's so sheer, maybe I can try the Healthy Pink on top. This one seemed a little bit more pigmented, so I'm only gonna add a little bit. Let's see. They blend in like so nice to each other. It's giving like glass skin vampire. I kind of want to do a stick test. Okay, yeah, it is sticky, so definitely don't wear this on a windy day. Oh, and actually I forgot to say this shade name in the beginning. This is Icy Lavender. You know what, honestly, I thought I was gonna meet my match today and this was gonna be too purple for me, like even for me, but you know what? I love this. Definitely check it out if you can find it and you want the most purple blush to ever purple blush.